You are now entering Alyx Man's world.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your Monday Night Raw review. Yes, sir. Hashtag Raw Cleanse Part 2 has come to an end as a result of the evil genius of professional wrestling, Paul Heyman, returning to his creative duties as the executive producer or executive director of Monday Night Raw. And tonight, we got some sprinkles. Not a full cupcake, not a full main course, but some sprinkles of Paul Heyman at work. And I gotta say, it was enough, just enough for me to go, okay, I'll check out Raw. I'm back. Also, it's SummerSlam season, so I kind of have to get back into the swing of things. But for the most part, I can't believe I'm saying this, and I'll be real with you. I had to DVR Raw and watch it late. I didn't watch it live because, life gets in the way. But I've only fast forwarded through a couple of things. 2 out of 3 Falls match, which we'll talk about in just a second. And the 24/7 stuff, which we'll also talk about in just a second. And of course, no offense to Natalya and Lacey Evans, but
it was a decent Raw, but at this point, Extreme Rules is beyond saving at this point. Hopefully SummerSlam has better build up.
I think SummerSlam's gonna be a lot better because by that point, Heyman and Bischoff would have had ample amount of time to make that show matter. So I think SummerSlam is in good shape. I'm praying that SummerSlam is in good shape. But yeah, Extreme Rules, we'll talk about that when we get to it. Before we even get to any of that stuff, though, let's get to this Raw because, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, although it wasn't a perfect Raw, there were some issues that remain prevalent when it comes to 3 hours of Raw and Vince McMahon having full control. I believe this is the best Raw we've gotten in a while. Is it Attitude Era great? No. Is it Ruthless Aggression great? No. Overall, I'll give it maybe a like a B- C+, somewhere around that range. Like out of a 1 to 10 point scale, 7 out of 10 ish. Like it's one of those Raws where overall I enjoyed the show. I came out of it going, okay, I'll tune into next week. I want to see what happens next week. Which, on my scale, would make it a B. So, B-. But some of you might say C+. I personally think there's enough going on, story-wise. There's enough angles that are keeping me intrigued. And enough being done on Paul Heyman's part to, for now, put my trust back in the WWE to watch regularly. And come up here and give you Raw reviews. So that's basically the gist of it. Let's break down the show. But first, if this is the first time you're watching your boy Alyx Man, do yourself a favor. Like the video and subscribe. While you're at it, if you want to help expand the brand of your boy Alyx Man, you can do a couple of things. You can like me on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter at AlyxManBX1. You can donate using PayPal, Patreon, or Super Chat. Email me at justalexsworld@gmail.com for business inquiries or just to say hi. And of course, buy yourself a Alyx Man t-shirt today at Pro Wrestling Tees. The following people are here in the live chat. We got AustinFan25, Lauren Hutton. That's a new one. What's up, Lauren? Oh, Lauren's a female. We know anytime we get females in the chat, these boys go crazy. We got Jay Knox, the guy who makes my covers. Thank you, Jay Knox, for your awesome talent and your unrelenting loyalty to helping this channel grow. We got P Boone, Christian C, NK, Gamer Anderson, Axel Bonella, The Beat Jr., Ricky Williams, The Elite Squad, Bryson Mixtape 99, Joseph Winters, Elias Ademi, Aaron Sherwood, who donated. Thank you, Aaron Sherwood, for your constant donations and your love and support for the channel and making it easily one of the best places to be. Ultra Shadow 97, let's see here, Kyle Hernsberger, Oh Yeah, Mr. Krabs, Mark Fanboy X, Mocha Soul, Jay Young 18, and one more. Let's do Godzilla Hulk. Okay, it's not because I hate y'all that I'm stopping early. There's a lot of people here in the chat. It's over 200 people watching me. I can't say all your names, but I love you, and thank you for making me a part of your night, a part of your day, whenever you're watching this. Let's get right to it. So, there's been a recent update on Raw's production of the show. Apparently, they're not allowed, because Vince McMahon says so, but they're not allowed to have matches during commercial breaks anymore. So, what has this done to the show? It's created what I like to call 2 out of 3 Falls Mania. Nothing but 2 out of 3 Falls matches. It was really ridiculous. Apparently, a few weeks ago, I think like Raw had 2 or 3, 2 out of 3 Falls matches. It was more than 1. I know that for sure. Yeah, that's basically been the theme of the Raws and SmackDowns these past few weeks. Just a ton of 2 out of 3 Falls matches because Vince McMahon doesn't want wrestling to happen on commercial breaks, which on theory, that makes no sense. In theory, because you can't be on theory. In theory, I understand why he would do that, and that should basically help the show progress and be better. But unfortunately, the problem with having 3 hours of Raw sometimes, and God help us all creatively, it's very hard to, put a lot of content on your shows that, fill up those 3 hours. And WWE, being the lazy bastards that they are, would rather just have 2 out of 3 Falls matches and have the 2 wrestlers or, tag teams just wrestle more than 1 match, which, listen, it's getting insulting. The 2 out of 3 Falls Mania is basically stupid at this point. We know it. We see through it. And the fact that commentary is acting like this is normal, which is pissing me off, that needs to stop. At the very least, can we at least have commentary acknowledge, oh my god, another 2 out of 3 Falls match? For real. Like, the fact that you're promoting it like, okay, it's not like we didn't have another 2 out of 3 Falls match before. You know what I mean? I just want them to be a little bit more creative with their shows. That's it. I appreciate the rule or the addition to the show, basically saying you can't have a wrestling match during a commercial break, which I think is good. I don't want them to be wrestling during commercial break. I hate when matches go on and all of a sudden there's a commercial break. At least I know, all right, we're going to get a legit match. Some kind of a match during this point. And that does make me a little bit more invested. But if you keep doing the 2 out of 3 Falls matches, it's just going to piss me off, and I'm just going to lose interest. So, I challenge WWE, going forward, to not do a 2 out of 3 Falls match at all for the rest of the year. Okay, maybe not for the rest of the year. If you want to do one in the next 3 months, fine, but tame yourselves.
Just wanted to support.
Thank you, Brian Ward. Your support is necessary. Speaking of support, I want to take a quick break to bring up something. If you're interested in going to Extreme Rules 2019 in 2 weeks, which I believe is in, let me see, give me 1 second. It's not here in Houston, which I, low-key, I kind of wish it was, but No, I don't know where it's at. Let me see. Location. Extreme Rules is at Wells Fargo Center. Oh, Philadelphia. Okay, it's in Philadelphia. So Philly, if you're in Philly and you want to get two tickets, front row seats to Extreme Rules in 2 weeks, contact your boy, the Alyx Man. Now, you will have to pay if you're interested in going.
They're gonna do a 2 out of 3 falls match.
Who's going to do a 2 out of 3 falls match? Curious to know that. Hopefully they won't. But, yeah, if you're interested in getting those seats, contact me as soon as possible. You can contact me through Twitter, Facebook. You can try, I suppose, to contact me here on YouTube, but I prefer you email me at justalexsworld@gmail.com. You tweet me at DeluxeManVX1 or contact me through Messenger on Facebook. I think that would be better. I have someone who's trying to get rid of the tickets, and I think if you're interested, you should grab them while they're high. You will have to pay a certain price. Last I checked, these are front row seats, so you can imagine they're going to be expensive, and there are 2 of them. So, if you can afford them and you want them, contact me as soon as possible. Now, with that said, I think there's nothing else to discuss. Let me check out what's been happening in the wrestling news. I don't want to get too far ahead. That's basically it. You guys just let me know if I missed anything, but for the most part, let's just get into the show. We kick things off with a Falls Count Anywhere match between Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley. A feud that before tonight, didn't give a damn about. Because it was nothing but, tug of wars and arm wrestling matches? Well, tonight we got a Falls Count Anywhere and hard. First off, before we even talk about what happened, because I know most of you watching me knows what happened. Love the match. Very fast paced. Every second was packed with action. Charging shoulder blocks, a lot of power moves, a lot of that can speak English, athleticism. And these are big men. These are super heavyweights. Yeah, super heavyweights. You don't usually see this stuff. And it was really cool seeing Lashley and Braun Strowman, in my opinion, showcase what they can do. I really enjoyed the match, but in the end, we see Braun Strowman ram Bobby Lashley through the LED stage. The boards on the LED stage. There's sparks, there's explosions, there's pyro. Oh my god, pyro's back. And then we audibly hear Corey Graves scream, "Holy shit." It wasn't even bleeped out. It just let it happen. As if it wasn't supposed to happen. Holy shit. Into the headsets. And I thought that was, well, clearly, hello Heyman. Thank you very much for booking that. And everybody knew it. Everyone knew that was Heyman who booked that. The crowd started chanting, "Thank you, Heyman." Dallas, Texas knew better. They're not stupid. Thank you, Heyman. But I thought that was really cool to see. And then we see referees and techs and EMTs swarm the area. And I love that we didn't make it cinematic. Because usually with Kevin Dunn, he would have the camera be zooming around like this. And then doing a cutaway to this. Maybe have some music in the background. Doing his bippity-boppity-boom. Making it not feel organic. No, it was just one still shot like this. In the back. And they kept it there. Made it feel like it wasn't supposed to happen. And then instead of doing the usual, fade away, it was just a straight cut to commercial. Like, okay, go to commercial. Like, some people were screaming in the production truck. Go to commercial. Cut. Great. Very well done. Just small things like that just make the angle even more powerful. I loved it. I loved everything they did with Strowman and Lashley, and quite frankly, if they do another match at Extreme Rules, I want to see it. I want to see what else they'll destroy. For real. Now, apparently, as reported by WrestleVotes,
Two people almost died and they chant thank you. Lol.
For real. But I want to talk about what was reported by WrestleVotes and confirmed by other wrestling dirt sheets, that currently WWE is looking to get new stages for both Raw and SmackDown, which is why they had the LAD stage destroyed tonight. It's basically their way of saying, okay, this is going away soon. We're going to get a new stage very, very soon. I hope, as in very, very soon, I mean next week. Very, very soon. Probably not next week, but for real, we need a new stage. We need new stages. Not just for Raw, not just for SmackDown, but for pay-per-views as well. And I'm pretty sure Eric Bischoff and Heyman are getting on that. It's not going to happen tomorrow or probably not even next week, but it's coming. Maybe after SummerSlam, we'll have legit distinctive stages for both Raw and SmackDown that separate them from each other. I can't wait to see what happens as a result of what they did tonight. But yeah, that was a great way to open Raw. I'm just like, okay, I see you, Heyman. Heyman clearly, he's at work. He's definitely at work. After that, we had, well, at first it was the New Day versus the Viking Raiders. I hate that name. Just call them War Raiders. But whatever, Vince McMahon. The tag team match ends in a DQ when Samoa Joe hits the ring and attacks Xavier Woods. Kofi Kingston comes out to make the save, and we have a 6-man tag team match, player. And to our surprise, Samoa Joe ends up choking out Kofi Kingston with the Coquina Clutch. And personally, as someone that doesn't like seeing champions lose, I was okay with this because first, it's a tag match. Champions losing in tag matches is completely different than them losing in singles matches. They can't lose their championship in a tag match. And this is why. I feel like there's this idea that he has to deal with more than one person, especially a 6-man tag. He's dealing with different people. That wears you out more, and that allows you to be a lot more vulnerable to loss. So him being defeated in a tag match, I'm completely okay with. That protects Kofi. But other than that, I liked it because Joe needed this victory. He has lost a lot as of lately, and he needs to get some wins under his belt. So hopefully next week, too, they give him another victory. Maybe have him beat Xavier Woods or Big E, or both. That'd be nice. Joe runs the gauntlet and beats both members of New Day. I would love to see that happen. But he gets a victory over Kofi, and there you go. Well booked. And of course, the Viking Raiders remain undefeated. I hate that name, though. Can we just call them War Raiders again? Heyman, get that change, buddy. You're in charge now. Alright, let's just talk about this 24/7 championship stuff before we get to the rest of the show. I just have it all in one pile here. Apparently, Drake Maverick brought his wife, what is her name? Renee Michelle Maverick, who, by the way, was kind of cute. You know, I'm just like, all right. I don't know if that's his actual wife or that's, an actor playing his wife. I think it might actually be his wife. I'll look it up later. But he's all backstage, pretending to be on his honeymoon, and she's all like, why are we here? Do you love me or do you love the 24 championship? And he's all like, nah, we're on our honeymoon. I'm just bringing you here to say hi, and then we're going to go off. And blah, 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 blah. And we see R-Truth teasing him, making fun of him. They go out to the ring, sit ringside for No Way Jose versus Cesaro. We see R-Truth and his little conga line mocking Drake Maverick. And Renee's all like, me or the title? And he's all like, I don't know. He's just like, well, I'm just saying. But for real, here's my thing. This is why I think it's stupid. I'm like, bro, look at your wife. Look at that ugly ass title. You need to get your priorities straight. Because to me, guys, I get it. All right, I understand that this is something different, and I know the 24/7 championship segments on YouTube are just raking in the views. It's like 11 million, 12 million, just outdoing a lot of the other segments actually. But I'm sorry, I don't get it. I don't get it. I'll admit that the stuff with Drake Maverick, you know, him dressing up as Carmella. Dressing up as Carmella to get the championship and then him losing the belt at his wedding. That made me laugh. I'll admit that was funny. But I'm just having a hard time understanding why Cedric Alexander, Titus O'Neil, and all these other wrestlers want this belt. I don't get it. I don't. I think Cedric should be on 205 Live or wrestling in more important matches. Send him to SmackDown or something. Or back to 205 Live. I don't care. Just not this. And then apparently Drake Maverick wins the championship later on in the night. Let me look at that note real quick. I have that written on here. I have it written later on in the script, but I have it written. Okay. So apparently, yeah, Drake and his wife are walking backstage again, where he promises her a great honeymoon, and she leaves to freshen up. The 24/7 flood rushes through and leaves Maverick behind with Truth. Drake says he just wants to have a good honeymoon, but when Truth turns around, he clocks him with his luggage, calls a referee, and wins the championship. Okay. Alright, look. It's silly fun. It's supposed to be comedy, and some of you love it. Most of you love it. I don't get it. It's not for me. I don't think it ever will be for me. But not everything's for everybody. I can wholeheartedly step back and go, this is just not for me. This is for all of you. So, you eat it up, you enjoy it, you slurp it, you salivate over it, and you sleep with it tonight. And you have a baby with it, if you believe it's all that good. Okay. Okay, I'll stop. I'm going a little too far with that. But it's just not for me, y'all. I'm sorry. Just being honest with you. But thank you for those who are, you know, understanding about that. Moving on, we got Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows chatting it up backstage in private when AJ Styles, the phenomenal one, rolls up. He says they were looking good last week, but they lost to Viking Raiders, to which Carl Anderson gives him a bit of guff for almost losing to Ricochet. Guff. Styles makes excuses, and the Hoots give him shite for it before offering a bet on AJ Styles' next match against Ricochet. Anderson will put up his hot Asian wife if AJ Styles can't win the championship. Basically. Okay. Bet. He might have just lost his hot Asian wife, by the way. Oh, and by the way, Cesaro and No Way Jose didn't happen. Because of the stuff with Drake Maverick and R-Truth, he just got overshadowed, which is... you see what I mean? It's just a bad use of talent like Cesaro and Cedric Alexander. They could be doing other things. More important stuff, like, I don't know, main eventing? Sorry. Speaking of important things, we saw the debut, or maybe not even debut, but guest appearance, let's go guest appearance, of NXT Tag Team Champions, Street Profits. That's D'Angelo Hawkins and Montez Ford. Wait, did I say Hawkins? D'Angelo Dawkins. Angelo Dawkins. D'Angelo Hawkins. My bad. Angelo Dawkins. Who is D'Angelo Hawkins? I think that's a basketball player. Maybe it's his cousin. Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford were on Raw. And they were awesome. Now, I personally, I don't like seeing NXT talent too much on Raw. Especially with all these NXT call-ups happening as of lately. How many calls have we had? Too much. But, guest appearances are fine. If they're just showing up just to get eyes on them and get them familiar with, you know, get the fans familiar with NXT to make them watch NXT TakeOver, cool. But most of the people who watch Raw watch NXT. Whatever. I believe how they were used tonight was awesome. They came out in comedy segments. Montez Ford does the cup gimmick, and during their first promo, goes for Rock's big finally before Angelo Dawkins, not D'Angelo Hawkins, cuts him off, and he launches into his own shtick. Just because they had the titles, don't mean they don't want this smoke. You see? The end of the segment singing, "We want the smoke, we want the smoke, we want the smoke, we want the smoke." You know, and that's basically it. They appear later on with Paul Heyman, that beautiful bastard, basically saying Brock Lesnar might be here tonight, or he might not be here tonight. He wasn't. But here comes D'Angelo Hawkins. I'm joking. Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. Okay, I'm going to stop the joke. Just, make fun of him, rub his head. And Heyman was like, "I'm just going to exit this way." Yeah. And then Montez was crazy. Montez was like, "Heyman! Get back here, Heyman! Get back here!" Loved it. Had me dying laughing. Man, Montez Ford is a star. He's a star. Angelo Dawkins is a star too, but Montez Ford is a big star. And if they want to bring them up as comedy characters, which, of course, look, I prefer something else, but they do comedy very well. So screw it, bring them up. I think they're gonna be big players on the main rosters, especially if they do that song. "We want the smoke, we want the smoke, we want the smoke, we want the smoke." All right, that's enough of that. So let's see what else is happening. It was nice to see NXT Tag Champs on Raw. And next up, I believe, is the segment between Taker, Shane, and McIntyre, right? Well, we have a backstage segment. Topeka. Red leather, yellow leather. I can speak English. Topeka. Backstage segment with The Miz interviewed, and he's talking about, "After tonight, Shane McMahon will have to find a replacement for Elias. And as for McMahon himself, well, I heard Taker's in the building." Yeah, there you go. So getting to that next segment, Shane McMahon makes his entrance, flanked by Drew McIntyre, demands his big intro from Mike Rome, and you know what he does? He puffs his chest, leans his head back, and goes, say it with me, "The best in the world, Shane McNuggets." Anyways, and he says he has other responsibilities besides gracing us with his presence. But since we're here, he wants to take the time to go back to last Monday night, and talk about Roman Reigns, who wasn't on Raw tonight. Good job! I actually appreciated that. Thank you for not having Roman on Raw tonight. He will be on SmackDown, I'm sure, but thank you for not having him on Raw tonight. Anyways, he has a video clip, and Drew says the footage speaks for itself, and Roman knows what they're going to do to him at Extreme Rules, which is, McIntyre beating up Roman. But Shane doesn't want to focus on Roman. He wants to look at The Undertaker. He wants to know why he came out and helped Reigns. Because don't they have issues? And I'm happy they addressed that, because it's kind of like, yeah, why would Taker help Reigns? Like, bro, like, for real? Like, he stole your yard. I'm just saying. He says last Monday was a surprise, but at Extreme Rules, there will be no surprises, and the Big Dog and the Phenom will end the night in the ground. Drew puts over Taker as the greatest legend in WWE history. You can argue that. But says he doesn't give a damn about Taker. He and Shane heard a rumor going around, so he came ready to fight, and further, he's ready to exterminate the legacy of The Undertaker. And that's when we get the mind games. Lights flicker on and off, we hear thunder, we hear, the gong, and then lightning hits the ring. Haven't seen that in a while. Love those mind games, by the way. Happy they did that. A dead man makes his entrance as Drew and Shane book it to hide in the crowd. Mike goes to Taker, and he says Roman never asked for his help, and that's not who he is. But if they need a reason why he came out to help him, which would be good, he'll explain who the Undertaker is. He is, and has always been, the Reaper of wayward souls for a long time. and he's here to collect their souls. Shane Song. Not Shane McMahon, but Shane Song. Your soul is mine. Anyways, he put Shane over for taking everything he had to offer at WrestleMania 32 before falling victim to his own greed and ego. He may be the best in the... but where he's going, he'll be nothing more than another couple of lost souls suffering the torment and torture of the acrid stench of death for all eternity. You know that was a scripted line. You know that one was scripted. I was just like, there's no way in hell that Kate... Yeah, that was super scripted. They will never rest in peace. I can't do the eye thing. I tried. Yeah. And then backstage, we see Lacey Evans doing her lipstick while Baron Corbin... Are they a thing? I don't know. But they say they're going to beat Lynch and Rollins at Extreme Rules. No one cares. Speaking of Lacey Evans, she beats Natalya with the woman's right. Do you care? No. Moving on. I'm sorry. Like, I just want to be done. I want to be done with Becky, Rollins, Corbin, and Evans. I want to be done. Backstage, we see Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder chatting with Ricochet, and then he gets rolled up by Charlie Caruso. Rolled up. Not that way. Get your mind out of the gutter. Damn. We see one girl in the live chat, and y'all start thinking some nasty thoughts. Sorry, Lauren. Anyways, he's being interviewed. He says if that's how AJ feels, that's fine. But for him, wrestling AJ Styles in the main event of Raw is one of the greatest honors in his career. Whether or not he got 100% out of him, and if they do it again, he thinks he will win. The club rolls up to him to say the only mistake is that Styles didn't put him down in 3 minutes. Ricochet disagrees and says he's confident that if they do it again, he can win. And Gallus is like, you shouldn't have said that. So they go back to AJ, start stirring the pot, and said, AJ, he says you ain't shit. He says you can't handle him, and he says you got lucky. AJ's all like, maybe I should have a conversation with him. And he's like, psh, 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 that's what Becky did. But he's like, look, you need to show him who's boss. Don't you be letting this kid boss you around. You know, AJ's all fired up and say, you know what? Ricochet, come here. So I heard that you've been talking mess about me. But let me know if you can handle the smoke. Because tonight, I'm challenging you for the United States Championship. Ricochet's all like, I don't know what's going on, but okay. And AJ said, bitch. And then Ricochet, okay. Bitch. And AJ's like, okay, it's on. It's on. It be on now. And we have that 2 out of 3 falls match between The Miz and Elias. I don't care. We're not going to talk about it. Miz wins. I'm not doing reviews on 2 out of 3 falls matches. It happened. Moving on. Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins are interviewed backstage. We see Seth Rollins express their sympathies for Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley after the craziness that happened earlier on in the night after all the explosions. He takes issue with the idea that he might be impulsive and tosses to Becky for a bit of sarcastic beatboxing. Rollins says one-on-one they know they can beat their opponents, and the winner takes all stuff changes things a little. They gently snip at each other, and Becky admits to sleeping with the title belt, which Seth says is causing a bit of friction, and asks her to listen from time to time before realizing what a mistake this is and saying that maybe he's just got lucky. That's when Maria walks in. Baby girl Maria and her fine self. She rolls up and says, I take issue with y'all calling yourselves the first couple of WWE. And Becky's like, wait, we didn't say that. But okay. And she says, they're not all that impressive before bringing Mike Kanellis out and saying she's got an extreme concept for them. Here tonight, she and her bitch would take on his and hers. Take on Seth Rollins and... Okay, try that again. Rewind! She said she and her bitch will take on Rollins and his. Bam. Got it right the second time. And Becky's like, okay, I got something for that ass. I got something for that fine ass. So the match happens. Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins taking on Mike Kanellis and Maria Kanellis. First off, so happy to see Mike and Maria on Raw. So happy to see them utilized. And damn. So Mike Kanellis is getting his ass whooped because it's Seth Rollins. During the match, Maria tries running away because she gets tagged in. She gets a microphone and frantically yells at Mike for failing to protect her, accusing him of not even being able to mop the floor at home. You said you can mop the floor at Rollins. I should have known you were lying. You couldn't mop the floor at home. Damn, someone, we know who wears the pants in that relationship. Becky walks around, fists up, and Maria begs off, claiming that she's pregnant. And Mike Kanellis is like, wait, you for real? You're pregnant? What? Like, what? For real? She's probably not. Anyways, Becky walks off confused, and Mike wonders, how the hell did you get pregnant? Maria claims he's not man enough to get her pregnant. Oh, snap! Lynch improvises, tosses Mike Kanellis in the ring, hooks the disarmer, and, somehow gets the victory, although he wasn't legal, but okay. Whatever. After the match, Maria berates Michael some more, calling him a disappointment, and saying that the only man here tonight was Becky, so maybe next time she'll ask Becky to impregnate her. Oh, snap! What? Sorry. You know Vince McMahon was loving that. That's that Jerry Springer stuff. You know Vince is all like, bruh, this is some good shit. You know Vince is like, Maria. For real. I love this. Again, clearly Paul Heyman's segment. You just know which segment is Paul Heyman's. The other stuff, this was a Paul Heyman segment, and I loved it. I want to see more of Mike and Maria. Because clearly Maria she's vicious. She is vindictive. And not someone I would want to be married to. Man, I want to see what else they got in store for them. Matter of fact, I want to see what happens on 205 Live this week. I can't wait for that. That's going to be fun. Okay, next is the Moment of Bliss segment with Alexa Bliss and her best friend, Nikki Cross. She brings her out as the guest on the Moment of Bliss. She thanks her for her support and guidance and helping her get another championship match against Bayley in Extreme Rule. Oh my God! She's getting another championship match? Now, I do appreciate that we're acknowledging that Nikki should have gotten that championship match, but why? Vince!
Maria was a human roast machine tonight.
Maria was smoking in more ways than one. Give her the microphone a lot more. Give her more TV time. For real. Mike, you lucky bastard. I'm envious of Miz and who he's married. I'm even more envious of Mike Kanellis. For real. Getting back to the Ross. Super chat mania.
Why were the Street Profits there again?
Why is the wild card rule still here? Who knows? Anyways, back to the Moment of Bliss. Out comes Carmella, essentially talking about some, Nikki, she using you. Stating the obvious there, Carmella. And Alexa's all like, you're a sidekick. You're not fabulous, you're a sidekick. Ooh, she dissed her. And Carmella's like, I'm gonna sidekick you upside your head. And that literally was the segment. They have a match. Carmella rolls Alexa up in like 5 seconds and beats her, and then loses clean to Nikki Cross. Okay, I don't care. I don't. I'm not interested in Alexa Bliss versus Bayley again. I'm not. I hate that. Seriously, get something else for Bayley. Okay, get someone else that's not blonde. How about that? Because I'm pretty sure that if she's not fighting Alexa Bliss, she'll end up fighting Charlotte at SummerSlam. Good. Jesus. Find someone else for Bayley, please. For real, for real. Okay, anyways. What happened? I think this is when we get the main event. Yeah, this is when we get AJ Styles taking on Ricochet again. So last week, AJ beat Ricochet clean, which, listen, I'm not a fan of champions losing clean on TV. In that case, he should lose the championship. And what I love about this match is that they teased that. They teased that AJ Styles could have easily beaten Ricochet because he didn't, but he kind of did. Because the first half of this match, we see AJ pin Ricochet, but Ricochet's foot was under the ropes and the referee caught it. And commentary called it out too. So you know the spot was planned very well. But yeah, AJ hit the flying forearm and pinned him 1, 2, 3 to win the United States Championship. And then the referee resets the match. And after the commercial break, by the way, good match. But after the commercial break, Ricochet ends up pinning AJ Styles with a, dare I say, Lucha Underground roll-up. It was really, really cool. It was awesome. He rolled him up like a pretzel and pinned him 1, 2, 3. So Ricochet gets his win back. So we have to have a rubber match now at Extreme Rules. Make it a ladder match. I want a ladder match. Heyman. We're buddies, right? We buddies? Can we be buddies real quick? I want a ladder match. Heyman, you're gonna give me a ladder match. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna give me a ladder match or not. But you should give me a ladder match, sir. I want a ladder match, goddammit. Fine, it'll probably be a tables match. I don't care. Just give me AJ and Ricochet in a stipulation match. It can't just be a singles match now.
I'd like for WWE to drag Kofi versus Joe to SummerSlam.
Ha! You funny. It ain't happening. Joe's gonna lose to Kofi, and then he's gonna lose to the best in the world. You know what I mean. Sorry. Shane McMahon's gonna take the championship. The championship? I can't speak English. The championship. He's gonna take it from him. Damn it. Which is why I hope Shane and McIntyre beats Taker and Roman Reigns at Extreme Rules. Anyways, the spoiler alert for my preview next week. Let's get back to this show. Because after AJ Styles lost, we didn't stop there. Oh, no. Because after the match, we see the club, that's Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, enter the ring. AJ's all like, what y'all doing? Hold up, wait a minute, let me, boom! Turns around and smacks Ricochet, knocks his ass down, starts stomping on his ass, and then causing his boys to pick up where he left off. We have a heel turn by AJ Styles. He turns heel on Ricochet. The club is back together. They do the whole to a sweet thingy, and yeah, there you go. AJ Styles has turned heel on Ricochet. That changes the dynamic of the feud. I can't talk today, y'all. I'm sorry. And we have I'm assuming another match coming in Extreme Rules, which is why I hope it's a ladder match. But this is gonna be great. I'm really excited for their match now. It has heat. There's personal grudge behind it. This is gonna be quite the feud to put over Ricochet. I'm excited about it. This is gonna be great. So overall, I gotta say, man, Raw wasn't perfect. There was some stuff I skipped over. Again, I'm still not a fan of the 24/7 championship stuff. I skipped over Lacey Evans and Natalya. Everything going on with the 2 out of 3 falls stupidity, I'm just not going to even give time to. But I did like a lot of stuff. I loved how they opened the show with Strowman and Lashley. Loved the stuff with Maria and Mike Kanellis. And I love the heel turn with AJ Styles. So there's a lot to like. We're getting sprinkles, elements of Heyman's work. He's not in full control yet. We're slowly transitioning him into that role. So in the meantime, we're going to have to deal with more wild card stupidity, and other bad booking mess. But I think so far, this is the best Raw this year, which isn't saying a lot because Raw has been terrible. This is the best Raw this year, and I think going forward, it's just going to get better. So I look forward to seeing what they do next week, and I will be up here next week to talk about it. I am excited. I am ecstatic. And Paul Heyman, you beautiful, brilliant man. If you were in front of me, I would kiss you. No homo. But you know what I mean. I love that you're running Raw. And some people might be saying, oh, you're a Paul Heyman mark. Yes. Is that a problem, sir? I am a Paul Heyman guy. Raw was better this week than it's ever been this year. Was it perfect? No. But it's a step in the right direction. And I think for things to get better, we had to acknowledge when they do steps in the right direction. WWE, I don't want you to give me Attitude Era. Well, if you can, please do. Clearly, we're going in that direction. We got cuss words from Corey Graves, just audibly saying shit and bitch and ass, and it's just awesome. I love that. Maybe not chair shots to the head. We'll get that with AEW. But I don't want Attitude Era. I just want a good show. I just want engaging, compelling stories that keep me intrigued. I want to see what happens with AJ and Ricochet. I want to see what happens with Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley. I want to see what goes up with Maria and Mike Kanellis. I want to see what you're doing with this show. So thank you, Paul Heyman. Thank you for making Raw enjoyable tonight. And hopefully you'll make next week's Raw enjoyable. Oh, Lord.
I love the AJ heel turn. It was just too sweet. Sign of the horns. Medium light skin tone.
What? Okay.
Let's hope for a good SmackDown as well tomorrow.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. So give me your thoughts on Raw tonight. How'd you feel about it? What was your favorite segment? How you feeling about Paul Heyman's Raw so far? Although it's technically not fully his Raw yet, but from what you've seen, are you excited? Are you starting to feel like, okay, maybe I can watch Raw a little bit more now? Because so far, I think we're in good hands. I think when Heyman takes over fully, we'll be good. Let's see what SmackDown brings us tomorrow. And that will be Eric Bischoff's show. So thank you guys for watching. And I hope you guys have a good night. And I hope you enjoy more content in your boy Alyx's world in the near future. So until tomorrow for my SmackDown review and other stuff to come, you guys have a good night. This is your boy Alyx signing off after this super chat.
Did you see the botched Instagram post?
Which botched Instagram post? What's he talking about? What he talking about? You mean of them showing Heyman and Eric Bischoff as the writers? I'm assuming that's what he's talking about. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys next time right here in Alyx's World. I'm out. Peace.